So what up, y'all? Today I'm doing a trading recap on today's trade. So let's get right into it. What I first like to do. All right, I'm gonna clear my chart. Hold on. All right, dope. So what I first like to do is I go to the 4 hour time frame, right? I mark out. Well, right here I'm not marking out anything but the highest of the high and the lowest of the low. And right now we're in a clearly bullish bias. Why? Because we're creating higher highs, higher lows, and then we go into our 15-minute time frame. When we go to our 15-minute time frame, we want to go into the previous session, which is the Asia session, the London session, the New York session. You want to mark out your highs and your lows of these previous sessions. Let me just. Why am I marking out the highs and lows? Because these are my key liquidity levels. I'm seeing if price is going to react off these levels, or these can also be price targets. So, let's go over here. Cool. So this is before we're starting the day. We have everything set up. We went to our 4 hour time frame. We got the market's bias for the day. And then we went to the 15-minute time frame and we marked out previous session highs and lows. Cool. So right now we just want to see what market does. I trade New York session, so that starts at 7 a.m. right now because I'm in Arizona. So, all right, coming into market open, we already took out Asia session high and previous New York session high. Yeah. Right here, we want to see if price is gonna react, like I said before, because these are my key liquidity levels. So we want to see if price is going to react down or price can continue in the bullish bias that we were in. And where can it continue to? So we can just go back up here to previous sessions and we could mark out this high up here, this high up here, and so on and so forth. So cool. So right here, we're barely going into market open in this next candle. We're gonna see how it reacts. Boom. So clear rejection and manipulation off this liquidity level. What do we want to do? We want to mark out the 15-minute fair value gaps that we already created. And we also want to go on the 5-minute time frame and see if we created any fair value gap. So we created one up here. Sorry for that voice crack. That was disgusting. And we created one down here. So, we want to see how price is reacting on this fair value gap. Okay. So we already inversed this first 5-minute fair value gap. We're already getting clear rejection. And we touched our first 15-minute fair value gap. I want to see if price is going to inverse this 15-minute fair value gap, because since we swept up New York highs, I want to see if we can target these previous lows down here from previous sessions. So I want to look for the inverse of this 15-minute fair value gap. I want to put my entry below the 15-minute fair value gap and my price target on my London low. This is the London low from yesterday's session. From yesterday's session. And this is from previous day session low. So don't get those confused. I mean, you can clearly see it, but yeah, you guys know what I mean. So, we just want to see what price does coming into these fair value gaps. Okay, so we're already touching the 15-minute fair value gap. You can come into the lower time frames and see if it inverses this gap. Since I'm already looking for an entry to the downside, I'm gonna go to the lower time frame to the 1 minute and see if we can inverse the first 15-minute fair value gap. I'm gonna delete this 5-minute fair value gap because I'm more focused on the 15-minute fair value gap. Okay. Okay, boom. So right here, cool. So right here, we already inverse the 15-minute fair value gap on the lower time frame. I typically, after the inverse, since we're getting a lot of volume to the downside, most of the times I wait for the 15-minute candle to fully inverse this gap. But as you guys can see, as soon as I go to a 15-minute candle, we already touched the price target over here. But um when I'm going to a 1-minute candle, and this is only when price is like as aggressive as it was today. And it was aggressive today because we had something farm news. I forgot what it was. My fault. But I'm entering right here after first inverse. After first inverse, excuse me. I'm setting up my price target to the London low from today's session, London low, and I'm setting up the stop loss. Oh my! I'm setting up my stop loss. Setting up my stop loss on the 1-minute break of structure right here. You guys can see right here. You guys can see right here we had a break of structure right here. So I'm setting my stop loss right here. Why am I setting up my stop loss right here? Because I don't set up my stop loss based on a percentage or anything like that. I set up my stop loss knowing that if price comes back here, we're getting clear rejections to the upside and we're gonna reverse. But if I were to set up my stop loss right here, like how most people do because they don't want to risk too much. I'm still not risking too much because I'm trading with less contracts. Normally, I would trade with 3 or 4. Um, so it wouldn't be that much of a risk, but depending how many contracts you risk. But if you were to set up your stop loss right here, you have a higher chance of getting stopped out and then price going back to your target. And then that happened to me like for so long until I learned. So I like to set it up where I know that if price touches right here, it's because my bias was wrong. It's because I was like clearly wrong. So we're entering the trade right here. We're setting the take profit right there, previous London low, or I mean London low, and then we're setting the stop loss up here in the breakup structure. My fault. Cool. So we're gonna see how what price does coming in. Boom. So right here we had another breakup structure coming in before, and that just gave us more confirmation to the downside. This gave us more confirmation to the downside. Right here, if price would have started getting a little bit choppy on the 1-minute time frame, it could look like it's gonna reject back up. So that's why normally you want to set up your first TP right here and your second TP down here. This is your second price target, which is your London low. So why didn't we do that today? Because again, we had news, and as you guys can see right here, we had a 1-to-1 in this trade. Normally we're going a 1-to-3, maybe a 1-to-2, but since price was we had high impact news today, that's why we had everything like this. Everything went quick, so that's why I went on the lower time frames to enter this trade. Typically, we wait for the confirmation on the 5-minute or the 15-minute, but it would give us a later entry. Not only that, we couldn't miss out on a whole entry because if I would have waited, let's say right here, if I would have waited for price to inverse this fair value gap, I would have never entered the trade because it hit my price target. So that's why I went on the 1-minute, waited for the inverse, saw the volume we were getting from the market. We also had a 5-minute inverse, which gives us more confirmation. Not only that, you can wait to enter off the 5-minute inverse. It would be a little bit of a late entry. it would just be a lot more safer. Just on the 15 minute, I mean, man, there was no way. But so yeah, this was a 15-minute inverse for value gap. As you can see, we inverse, and then price did whatever it wanted to do after that. But yeah, I mean, I hope this helped. I'll get better at explaining at videos. This was my first video, so I mean, let's keep training. Let's get this money in.